It's nice to be outside, actually just out in the sunlight hitting your face. Fun to see something other than just gray and overcast as we're walking through the woods. But a little bittersweet. It's still pretty cold, unfortunately. It was about, let's see, the car said it was -9 Celsius. I can't remember off the top of my head what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's supposed to warm up some more. I went all in with a splash of color for my first shot in case it was a bland day. This was a side of a pavilion, and I kind of like this photo. I used a wider aperture to try to blur out the background a bit for separation. Here are a few of my favorite things: leaves in the winter, tree bark, and shadows. Even better when they come together like this. This was my first shot of the day with my long lens. I was just getting used to it a bit and fired off a few shots, and this one looked okay. It's pretty average, but I like the colors with the sunlight. Going minimalistic can be challenging. Just because you're taking a simple close-up image doesn't make it good. I like this one though. It's clean, simple, and has interesting shapes that stand out against the snow. Yeah, these winter walks, at least in this part of the state of Minnesota where we live, are fun to get out and explore, but it's been really challenging just because our land is pretty flat, at least where we live. We're not going to be driving too far on just colder mornings like this to go out and hike in the cold and then have to drive a ways to get back. So we typically stay close to home on these hikes, but that also limits our photo opportunities. So I'm not complaining at all. I mean, we still have a very beautiful state in this part of the area as well. But I'm a little excited because we've just started booking some of our spring camping trips. We already have 3 on schedule here. We're going 2 different places in May, coming up in May, and then we booked a spot in June as well. So looking forward to getting out into those places and seeing what kind of photo ops there are there, and plus just being able to take some photos again without needing to fiddle with the camera with gloves on and have really chilly fingers. So for the next couple of months we're going to be out here in the snow and walking around in the local parks and seeing what we can do for photos, but pretty soon we'll get out into some pretty areas and state parks and hopefully some better photos. This is another shot from my long lens. I really enjoy how much backgrounds get blown out when you're close to your subject on these long telephoto lenses. And here the light and color strikes a really pleasing balance. I think this one is one of my favorite shots of the day. And I follow up my favorite with my least favorite. I kept this photo in because it represents the park really well with all of the twisted oak branches. There were some really interesting colors here, but I'm having troubles replicating these into the image. And my favorite tree in the entire park, it sits alone within a small cornfield. Very odd, but very cool at the same time. When first looking at this image, it always takes a few moments to get your bearings. It's an interesting stretch of the river that had split open and then refroze. This is zoomed in from a good distance away. I like the shadows and the light within the snow against the dark contrast of the frozen river water. I could tell I was pretty excited to get out in the sun and take some photographs. I even brought the beast with me, so I'm carrying a lot right now. Probably overkill. Here are some more sunlit leaves. This one appealed to me given the nice balance of the 1-to-1 aspect ratio and how the leaves fit in there nicely. This one was more of a practice shot again with a handheld panorama. I do find the leaf color pleasing against the leafless trees way in the background. But now that I look at it again, I messed up the colors a bit. As you can see, the corn stalks are an odd color of yellow. Oops. These stalks look a bit more natural. I really like this view looking down the row, following some animal tracks. This was a zoomed in shot from my long lens, which gives it a bit more shallow depth of field. In my final shot of the day, this one I like due to the light blotches hitting the hay bale. I tried to find the right exposure for this one. I didn't want it too dark, but I wanted the light hitting the bale to stand out nicely for some contrast. Well, we had blue skies, bearable temps, very little wind, and average photos probably. We'll see how they look. But overall, I would give this a passing grade for a good day for a nice walk. So if you stuck around to the end, I appreciate it and hope to catch you again on the next one. Take care.